Hey there, tech fans. Rick here again with a quick review of the G-Power U1000 portable power station. This product is a great way to charge and operate all of your thirsty portable devices when you're away from home. It's small, it's portable, it's incredibly powerful, and it provides all the outputs you're going to care about. AC, DC 12 volts, and USB. So anything you normally charge at home, you can charge and operate off this product. Now, before I get too deep into the specifications and everything that makes this a pretty special product, I always like to start with a quick unboxing just to show you everything that's included with the kit, and that way you'll understand exactly what you get if you decide this product is right for you. And then I'll dive into the specifications because there are a lot of portable power stations on the market, and it's really important to understand how this can compare to other products you may be considering. And then I'll take a closer look at the unit, I'll explain the ports and indicators and basically how you use the unit, and then finally I'll come back and point out a few things that I really like about this product that you can use to compare it to others you may be considering. So let's get started with the unboxing. When you first pop open the box, you'll find the U1000. It's small and again portable. It's 19.6 pounds, which sounds like it's a heavy unit, but it's really not that heavy. It's right in the middle of sort of the small units all the way up to the big units. And that's perfect because it's light enough to bring with you pretty much anywhere. But again, it packs so much energy inside that you can use it for a weekend of camping or a long road trip, or maybe you're out hiking and you need some power to run some lights and charge your camera and other devices. It's perfect for that. Now, the unit itself also comes with an AC charging kit that you'll use at home. You'll basically plug this into the wall. This brick converts the AC in your home to DC that'll charge the unit 4.5 to 5 hours, depending on how discharged it is when you start that charging cycle. You'll also find a full instruction manual included that tells you everything you could possibly want to know about the unit, how to charge it, how to transport it, how to use it when you're out in the field. So always read through that manual because there's a lot of good information in there that'll help you get the best value out of the product. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about the product. It has an internal capacity of 974.4 watt hours, which is a lot of energy for a small unit like this. That internal energy can produce up to 1200 watts of external charging and operating capabilities, and that's plenty of power to charge multiple devices at the same time, and even to use larger tools and things like that out in the field. So anything you need to run off of an AC outlet, a 12 volt DC outlet like in your car, or a USB outlet, the product can help you with. Now, the unit itself really has three things you have to consider whenever you're comparing this to other portable power stations, and those start with how do you charge it? So this unit, you can charge it at home with the AC kit. You can charge it out in the field with a solar panel if you want. There's a port on the front right there that you can connect your solar panel up to. You can also charge it in your car off a 12 volt outlet. Just plug it into your outlet, plug the cable into the DC port in the front, and you're good to go. And then finally, they've also built in a way to charge this through the USB-C connection on the front. That's a bidirectional connection. So if you have a large USB charger at home, typically a PD charger, you can actually charge this like you would charge any battery bank at home. So it gives you 4 different ways to charge it, which I think is pretty incredible because normally you're going to charge it at home and take it out in the field to use it. But maybe you're moving between campsites, or maybe you're on your way to the campsite and you haven't charged the unit. Just plug it into your car and you're ready to go. All right, so once you've got the unit charged, what kind of battery chemistry is inside the product to actually store that energy? And that's critical because a lot of the portable power stations on the market today are still using an older technology called lithium polymer. And that's a technology that does okay out in the field, but it's not the most advanced and latest technology. And the challenge with a lot of the battery chemistries out there are that they're really sensitive to hot weather and cold weather. They don't handle those two extremes really well. And think about when you're going to use it out in the field. You're going to be camping, it's going to be cold or it's going to be hot, and then you're going to have limitations. This unit uses the very latest lithium iron phosphate batteries, which can tolerate the heat and the cold really well. They're also great for charge and recharge cycles. A lot of the older batteries, you might have gotten 500 or 1,000 charge and recharge cycles out of them because of the battery chemistry inside. With this one, you've got the lithium iron phosphate batteries, which allow you to charge it 3,000 to 5,000 times. If you think about that, the math would indicate that if you charged it once a day, that's at least 10 years of use, probably 15 years of use, and you know you're not going to charge it every day. So you're going to get plenty of use out of this product before you'll ever have to worry about the batteries going bad. And then the third thing you have to consider is once you've charged it, whether you're at home, in your car, or out there with a solar panel, and you've got the greatest battery technology inside of it, how do you use the energy that's stored in that battery to charge and operate external devices? Well, any portable power station on the market will typically give you 3 ways you can connect up to the unit: AC, DC, like in your car, and USB, which you're using today to charge most of your mobile devices. Let's start with the DC on this one. You find a full-size DC port right here in the center, which is exactly the same as in your car. It's like a convenience outlet in most cars, and that's a 12-volt outlet that can deliver 10 amps of current to that port. So anything you charge in your car, you can plug in directly there and charge it just fine. 10 amps is a lot of current to supply through a 12-volt outlet. So you know already that anything you would bring along on a camping trip that you would normally plug into your car, you can take with you out in the field and charge from this unit. The AC portion of it is nice as well. There are two full-sized AC ports right there. Both of them together can deliver 1,200 watts of power. That's an awful lot of energy. That's more than most home outlets can supply. So plugging in a drill, a lamp, a charger for your laptop, anything you would normally plug into the wall outlet at home, you can plug into the unit and it's going to fully charge that device. And again, both of these outlets are active at the same time. Another key difference with those AC outlets is that they deliver a pure sine wave output. Now, most of the power stations on the market deliver what's called a modified sine wave, which is not as good. It's a little bit rougher as far as delivering AC to that external device. With a pure sine wave like this one, you're actually getting a perfect sine wave, which is nice and smooth, just like at your home. And that's super important if you're plugging in any kind of digital electronics that are sensitive to that waveform. So be careful with that with a lot of the portable power stations on the market. You want to make sure you find one with a pure sine wave output, and this one has it on both of those ports. And then finally, the USB charging on this is extremely expansive. Now with USB charging, there are typically two types of connections you'll make to a USB charger. The older style, which is USB-A, and that's the larger one that's got a rectangular plug, and the newer style, which is USB-C, which has the smaller, sort of an oval plug. This unit has both of those available. On the USB-A side of the house, it has 3 USB-A ports. All 3 of those ports are QC compatible. Now QC stands for quick charging, so if you've got a device like a camera or a phone or a tablet that adheres to the QC standard, the minute you plug that into this portable power station, the port recognizes the device as QC, it'll interrogate the device to figure out what kind of charge it has on it currently, and it modifies the voltage and current to quickly and safely charge that device. All 3 of those ports are QC ports, which means you can plug a phone into one, a tablet into another, your drone batteries into the third one, and all 3 of them get their own flavor of charging capabilities. So the unit is smart enough to know the difference between them. In addition to that, you'll find 2 USB-C ports. Both of those are PD ports, which is power delivery. That's the other quick charging standard, and that's used on other phones, game consoles, drone batteries, a lot of different devices in the field. It does exactly the same thing. It'll look at the device that's been plugged in, it'll interrogate the current charge level of that device, and it'll adjust its voltage and current to quickly and safely charge that device. So you've got both flavors of quick charging capabilities built into the unit, and you've got a total of 5 USB connections where you can simultaneously charge 5 things at the same time. In addition to that, the PD charging on the USB-C ports provide both an 18-watt output and a 100-watt output. Now the 100-watt output is important because if you're trying to charge something like your laptop or some drone batteries or some game consoles or those gigantic tablets we love to bring out in the field, you need a lot of current to charge that, and a 100-watt port is plenty for most laptops, larger tablets, and drone batteries. So knowing you've got 100 watts on the port means you can plug really thirsty devices into it and you're going to charge those just fine. The last thing I wanted to mention is the fact that the product has a very advanced battery management system built in, and that's important because when you're charging the unit, that battery management system takes over and makes sure the charge comes in is distributed across all of the batteries evenly. It's constantly monitoring the voltage, the current, short circuits, over temperature, under temperature, all the things that could damage the battery cells, and it's making sure that if something happens, it can shut off the charging or it can shut down the battery. So it's incredibly smart. It also controls how that charge is delivered to external devices, because if you think about it, charging the device is one thing, but then once I have the charge, distributing that to other devices externally, that's kind of a tricky business. You have to make sure that you're sending the right amount of voltage and current to those devices so you don't damage them. That battery management system protects you from damaging external devices. So they've really thought of everything you should worry about in a unit like this and gave you a really good, decent product. Now on the front of the product, you'll also find a light. They built a courtesy light in that you can turn on. It's got a couple of different levels of bright and dim. It also has an SOS beacon built in, so you can put it in SOS mode. And that's important if you're out in the field, maybe you've broken down on the side of the road. You can set this down by your tire on the back of the car, put it in SOS mode, and that way drivers coming past you can see the light and know that you're off to the side of the road. And the other thing I wanted to mention is the unit itself has a beautiful digital display right in the center, and that's important because it gives you a view of exactly exactly what the state of the product is at any given moment. So you know how much of a charge you have left, you know how much of a charge you're putting into the unit in terms of current, and you know how much you're drawing out of the unit. And again, the reason that's important is because you're out at a camping site, you've been out there for a couple of days, you want to make sure that you've got enough energy left to charge your phone or your tablet or whatever. You'll know exactly how much power is left in the unit by looking at that. So overall, the product gives you a great way to charge it, 4 different methods for charging it. It has really good battery chemistry inside, and it gives you all the possible options you'll need to externally charge and operate devices. So they've really built a rock solid product here that's easy to bring along on any camping trip, and again, just packs a lot of energy into a tiny little package, which I think is incredible. One thing I didn't mention on the charging side, which is really important, I forgot this before, if you decide to charge this from a solar panel, there's a circuit that's required called an MPPT circuit. And what that circuit does is it regulates the voltage and current coming from the solar panel and safely charges the batteries internally. And the reason that's important is because when you set a solar panel up facing the sun, it's going to drink in the sunlight and turn those into electrons and send those over to the batteries. But the problem is it's not consistent because clouds are going to go by, maybe the sun's setting, so there's going to be variance in the amount of sunlight that hits that solar panel. The MPPT circuit makes sure that any energy coming from that solar panel gets to the batteries, and it squeezes as much efficiency out of that energy as possible to make sure you get the most value out of that solar panel. A lot of the battery banks require the solar panel to have that MPPT circuit or to use an external one. This one has an MPPT circuit built in, so you can plug a solar panel directly into the unit. It'll take charge of grooming that charge and sending it along to the batteries inside. Now, if you stay tuned next, I'll take a closer look at the unit so you understand what the ports do, and then I'll come back at the end and point out a few things that I really like about this particular portable power station that you can use to compare it to others you may be considering. On the front of the unit, starting on the upper left-hand side, you'll find 2 power buttons, one for the AC portion and one for the DC portion. The DC portion turns on the USB ports as well as the DC 12-volt port. And you can turn these on individually, which is really nice because if you're not using the AC, you can turn that off. You'll also find a button that turns on the light on this side. You'll hold that down for a couple of seconds. The light will come on. Then you can dim it by tapping it. You can also put it in SOS mode. To turn it off, you'll hold it again for a few seconds and the light will turn off. In the center, you'll find a digital display that gives you all the information you need to understand about the current status of the unit. Right now, I've got about 74 hours of use, and I'm drawing 0 watts output, and you can see that I'm just about 2/3 of the way full as far as the battery goes. Below that are all the connections. Starting on the left, you'll find the input connector, barrel connector right there that is used with the AC kit that comes with the product. You'll plug that into the wall, plug the barrel connector in there. You'll also find an Anderson plug you can use to charge the unit. To the right of that are 5 USB ports. 3 of those are USB-A, 2 are USB-C. The USB-A ports deliver 18 watts each, and they're all QC enabled. You'll find 2 USB-C ports. Both of these are PD capable. One is an 18 watt, and the other one is 100 watt. This one is bidirectional, which means you can draw current out of the unit as well as charge the unit through it. You'll find one DC 12-volt port right here in the center, just like the convenience outlet in your car. You can draw 10 amps through that 12-volt outlet. Finally, there are 2 AC ports on either side. These are standard AC outlets at home. You can see you can use a 3-prong plug on there as well. Both of these together deliver 1200 watts of output power, and they're pure sine wave as well. I hope that closer look was helpful. Now, here are a few really important things to keep in mind when you're comparing the G-Power U1000 portable power station to other products you may be considering. The first thing has to do with the variety of ways I can charge this unit. This product can be charged in one of 4 ways. You can charge it at home with the AC kit, you can charge it in your car from an outlet in the car, you can charge it from a solar panel, and it even has an MPPT circuit built in to regulate that charging current. And then finally, on the front, there's a USB-C port that's bidirectional, and you can actually charge the unit from a USB-C charger in your home. And I love that because normally I'm going to charge it at home and head out for my camping trip. But if I want to recharge it when I'm driving to the campsite, or maybe I'm driving between campsites, I can plug it into my car. I really enjoy the fact that I can set up a portable solar panel outside my tent and drink in that sunlight and charge it for free. So having a variety of charging options really makes this a pretty special unit. All right, so once I'm out in the field, the battery chemistry is really important to me as well, because when you think about other power stations that are on the market using lithium polymer technology, even though that works okay, it really limits the use in hot weather and cold weather. And the recharge cycle issue is another problem, because lithium polymer technology, you might get 500 or 600, maybe 800 recharge cycles, which means you can't use the unit that long, and the batteries are inside, they're non-replaceable. So having a unit like this that uses lithium iron phosphate batteries that'll provide more than 3,000 charge and recharge cycles means I can have this for a decade or more and not have to worry about that. I also like the fact that the lithium iron phosphate batteries are really good in hot weather and cold weather, so there's no concern. If I go out in the winter to do a little camping, or I'm out in the heat of summer, it's going to operate just fine. All right, so I can charge it in 4 different ways. I've got the latest battery chemistry inside the unit. Then how do I charge external devices? Well, you have a wide variety of ways that you can use that stored energy to charge and operate your external devices. And I'll start off with the DC port on the front. That's a DC port, 12 volts at 10 amps, which is a lot of current. A lot of other portable power stations on the market may only deliver 4 or 5 amps of current. And the challenge there is I can't use everything that I'm plugging into my car with those other power stations. With this one, having 10 amps of current out of the unit means anything I'm plugging into my car today, I can plug in here and it's going to work just fine. I also like the fact that I've got 2 AC outlets on there, both of which can deliver 1200 watts together of pure sine wave AC. That's a lot of current, and it's pure sine wave, which is again something you'll want to compare against other portable power stations. Then when it comes to the USB charging, there's a wide variety of ways to connect to this unit. You have 5 different USB ports on the front. 3 of those are USB-A, 2 of those are PD. Both sets of those have quick charging capabilities. The USB-A or QC or quick charge, the USB-C or PD or power delivery, which means all of my new smart devices that can quick charge can plug into the front of this, and they're all going to get their own custom charging cycles from the unit. It's going to safely and quickly charge each of those devices individually. Then the last thing I want to mention about the USB is that one of the USB-C ports is 100 watts. Now 100 watts is more than enough power to charge my bigger tablets, my laptop, my drone batteries, my game consoles. A lot of other portable power stations on the market may provide a USB-C port, and it may be PD, but it could be 30 watts, 40 watts, 50 watts. Knowing I've got 100 watts, that can easily charge a laptop if I decide to bring that out in the field. And the last thing I'll mention is anytime you're thinking about a portable power station, you always have to remind yourself of what you're going to use it for most, right? With this one, it's perfect for that camping trip that goes 3 or 4 days. It's perfect for a long road trip, or if you've got an RV. There are bigger ones on the market, but the problem is they may have more energy, but you have to think about dragging that big, heavy portable power station out in the field with you, and then you bring it home with 50% of the charge. You've carried extra weight in the field you didn't need. With this one, 19.6 pounds, 974.4 watt hours of internal energy, 1200 watts of external energy, which means, to me, it's really the perfect balance of power and portability where you can take it with you almost anywhere and you'll have more than enough energy to charge all your devices. So I like it an awful lot. It's got the features I care about. I've been using it for a couple of weeks. I like it, and I think you're going to like it as well. So hopefully you found this review helpful. I've enjoyed talking about it. I really enjoy this type of technology, and boy, it seems like it's changing every day, but G-Power has done a fantastic job with this product. So thanks an awful lot for watching, and until next time, as always, stay nerdy.